How's it going, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome to another episode of Geeking Out. I'm now going to be bringing in a new series called Cosplay Con Talk, which basically pertains to everything in the cosplay community and also conventions. I am joined here with my very first cosplay guest and a new segment called Get to Know That Cosplayer. And welcome, Solstice Cosplays.
Hey Wayne,
So, how are we doing tonight, Solstice?
doing all right? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I think this is going to be turn out to be a good series. And to begin, how long have you been cosplaying for?
I've been cosplaying for about 2.5 years. My first con was Rose City Comic Con in 2018.
And what was that? What is Rose City like? As I said, I've never been.
Right. It's packed. Like I'm sure that some people who have been to larger cons will laugh at my assessment of that, but as far as the number of people that I tend to see in one place, it was very, very crowded, and there was an awful lot to look at.
Yeah, I've only seen, like I said, I've seen pictures on Instagram of people going to Rose City, and I've heard stories.
Yeah,
And
it's a good time.
what was your first cosplay for Rose City Comic Con?
So, we were doing a group cosplay for Doctor Who. So we had a couple doctors, a couple companions, and I was a monster from the episode "The Waters of Mars," known as the Flood.
Yeah, no, I just looked recently into what they look like. They look like zombies with like weird veins coming from their mouths.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's fun. I did a lot of work for learning how to do makeup for that one, and I think it turned out really well.
How long did it take for you to do the flood makeup to just to get the veins right and everything?
Um, Gosh, it was so long ago, but I'd say it probably took me like an hour and a half from start to finish. I was staying with a friend, and she can probably tell me whether I'm completely off base, like I tend to be. But
Okay,
um,
let's see. What did you all do at for the group cosplay, the Doctor Who group cosplay for Rose City Comic Con? Did you guys enter any contest or just roamed around?
Now we just roamed around. Um, yeah, we just sort of it was all themed, and sometimes we would get stopped for photos, and we could do all six of us, or I can't even remember how many of us there were. Um, but yeah, it was a group wandering around con.
Nice. How many people recognized your cosplays?
A lot of people recognize the doctors and the companions. I had a couple people recognize the flood, and I got recognized while I was in line for a booth, and I I got to very, very slowly pretend to chase the person for about 10 feet, and we just it was she was screaming like I was the actual monster, and I was pretending to be a zombie, and it was great.
Now, for those who are thinking about going to, for their first con, if and when COVID, you know, is over and done with, would you recommend Rose City Comic Con for someone's first con, or with it being such a big con? Because, like I said, I've heard stories.
Right.
Would it be something for someone who's wanting to go to con for their first con?
I would say that it would probably be a con that you'd want to go to with a friend. Um, there is a lot there, which means that you can easily occupy yourself all weekend if you want to. Um, but also, if you've never been to a con like I hadn't, it's kind of odd to try and figure out where to get your tickets and what to do with your badge and that sort of thing. And there's just so much going on that it can be a bit tough to suss out what you should do in real time.
Gotcha. Now, before COVID hit, did you go to any cons in 2019 before all that, all the mess that's going on now?
Yeah, I went to three cons in 2019. I started with Miyako Con, and then it was Rose City Comic Con, and then Komori Con.
Now, where is I've heard of Miyako Con. Is that located in Oregon or Washington?
That's in Oregon. It's in the Salem Kaiser area.
Okay. And what were your cosplays for those cons last year in 2019?
That one at Miyako Con, I think, yeah, it was just the one. I was Yang Xiaolong from Ruby.
Nice, nice.
That's my standard cosplay. And then um, at Rose City, it was the Wonder Woman cosplay, and then I was also Buttercup from The Princess Bride.
Nice.
Um, and then we did a pretty laid back Harry Potter cosplay for the first day. And then for Komori Con, I did Yang again, and then I did Diana from Sailor Moon, her human form.
Nice. Was that a cat?
That was a cat.
Now, when you go to cons, do you ever get recognized by random passerbys at the conventions?
Not usually. I mean, I'm a pretty new cosplayer, so unless I already knew the person ahead of time, chances are they're not going to recognize me. I mean, I hardly even had an Instagram presence uh, before before COVID, so if I'm going to get recognized, it's because of a character that I'm doing.
Okay. What made you want to, start cosplaying and, and go and wanted to go to cons?
Well, I was invited to go to Rose City by some friends of mine, and I had already done a lot of medieval type costuming, and I hadn't been able to do that so much. And so when the opportunity came up, sounded fun.
Yeah, might as well take the chance to go, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Um, and speaking of all the cosplays you've done, are there some that you would ever want to, bring back once COVID is over and done with? Or do you have any cosplays that you want to eventually do once COVID
Oh
is
yeah.
over?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, um, I want to bring back. Um, I just remembered that I had my Miyako cons mixed up. Um, no, wait, I didn't. We're good. Um, yes, so I'm definitely bringing back Yang because I spent a lot of time making that one, and it's one of my favorites. And I'm so sorry. That is my cat. She has a
It
toy,
is. You're completely fine.
and so I drafted that whole jacket from scratch, and I learned how to do color blocking, and it's so fun. Um, I have to bring that back. Um, Another one that I cosplay from Ruby is Oscar Pine, and I've done a pretty simplified version so far, um, and I really want to make a more complicated version. He changes costumes in Volume 6, and I want to make the new one. It's really cool.
No,
Um,
sorry.
Sorry.
Go ahead, keep on. You can keep on going. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Uh, in At MiyakoCon of 2020, I I debuted a Bond cosplay from Seven Deadly Sins, and that was really uncomfortable, but it's like a challenge that I need to overcome in order to feel comfortable in that cosplay. But that was another drafting from scratch and learning a lot of techniques.
I had seen that now. I saw the wig. Did you make that wig or did you order it and had it custom made?
I bought it from Epic Cosplay, and then I styled it myself.
I've heard of Epic Cosplay before, and they're a pretty good. They're a pretty good site.
Yeah, I mean, I've only ordered from them a couple times, but so far their stuff has been pretty good.
That's good to know. Let's see. Trying to think of some more good questions here. Now, do you have any like least favorite cosplays that you've done? Like you've done them once and you would never want to do them again.
Um, actually, now that I think about it, I do. So, Buttercup from The Princess Bride, that was part of a group cosplay, and it was because we were getting a photo with the three cast members that were attending Rose City Comic Con. But it's so far out of my personality that I'd really rather explore other things.
That makes total and complete sense. Um, let's see. Now, are there cosplays that you haven't done in so long? And I believe I asked this question prior to starting this. Would you want to bring back?
Yeah. That flood cosplay actually, I'm doing more work with figuring out how to do like silicone prosthetics, and I think that I could do some really awesome stuff with it if I tried it again.
Nice. Now, I've like I said, I've looked at the pictures of the flood. It looked like they had like their eyes were blackened out. Is that something you'd be incorporating in your, if you were to bring it back?
I would love to, but at the moment, it's not really in my resources to get the eye exam that I would need to get that sort of contact. So I would have to make do with something else.
Gotcha. And you said you've been mentioned about sewing and making costumes prior to, before you started cosplaying. How long have you been doing that for?
So I've been making costumes for myself since like 2012. I've been making my own clothing since maybe 2008. But I really got into the costume aspect around 2012 or thereabouts. Um, and I've done mostly medieval garments, that sort of thing.
Nice. And I remember asking before we started recording, you try to keep them as authentic as possible.
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing historical recreation, reenactment, whatever you want to call it, whatever intensity you're going for, um, there are always things that don't translate or that you don't know. I don't personally have access to the Moy gown that was found in Ireland in a bog, and there's only so much that I can do if I wanted to recreate that. But
The Moy
yeah, I
gown?
start. It's a it's a gown that was that's been dated to around the 14th century. It's a wool gown that was found in a bog in Ireland,
Hmm,
and it's a really cool find because it's about as intact as you can get for a find that old.
interesting.
Um, yeah, but I do what I can. Like I try and use natural fibers, wool, linen, silk where it's applicable, that sort of thing. It's all going to be machine spun, machine woven. I'm probably going to sew it by machine unless I have the time and the inclination to sit down and sew it all by hand. But I try.
It's totally understandable. So, on the topic of making your own clothes and costumes, have you ever had to make costumes for other people?
Yeah, yeah, I love doing that. I do a fair amount of commissions. been the, I've been doing those for a few years. I've gotten better and better at it. But just this last year, I made a full American Revolutionary War costume
Oh wow.
for someone up in Portland.
Now I take it that was like for a reenactment or something, or
I'm not sure. I think this is a person who has a lot of different costumes on hand. Is sort of a, a character, um, and yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll see a picture online of just them dressed up in something that they had lying around, and it's fantastic, and it's a Scythian costume or something like that. So yeah, it's around, ready to be used
nice. And I'm sure that makes you feel proud of like when you see people post pictures of the work you did for them and everything for your costumes and everything.
every time.
That's good. And it's a good thing. It's also a good thing that they give you that recognition too, because that that makes you feel proud of yourself that you did something for someone and you know that they enjoy it, so that that makes you continue to keep on doing your passion and everything.
Yeah.
And have you ever had any just your costumes in general, whether it be a cosplay or a costume? Have you ever had like any mishaps, like something torn, ripped, or just fell off your costume or stuff like that?
Um, Most of my cosplays have been fairly secure. I've done a lot of other things in different costumes. I've performed with dance, and I've had the medieval costuming, and I've done a lot of figuring out what does and does not work. And so, if anything, my cosplays tend to be over engineered so I don't have to worry about so many things.
Well, that's good. Any recommendations for those who are wanting to get into costume making, or for those who are starting out and on a budget? What would you recommend?
Gosh, so when I say over engineered, I mean over engineered. I probably put way too much work into it. Uh, Personally, I hate glues. I do not like glues or tapes. Some people swear by them, but I'm telling you, every time I try and rely on a glue, it fails.
Like a hot glue gun or super glue, gorilla glue, fabric glue, or
Any of those, even up to E6000, I don't know what it is about how I do glue, but it just doesn't work.
now have you sewn by? Did you when you started sewing? Did you sew by hand or did you use a machine? Because I know some people prefer hand sewn from machine sewn.
Yeah. When I first learned to sew, I was about 6 years old. Um, and that was all by hand. I didn't really learn how to use a machine properly until I started sewing regularly back in 2012. So I've always been more comfortable with hand sewing, but I've learned to get along with the machine.
And did you happen to use machine for your Evil Queen cosplay that you're telling me about?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that one was mostly my machine because I was trying to knock it out quickly.
How long did that take you? Because I know I've seen, in Snow White how it's just like a lot of, and I mean a lot of purple, and you got the black cape and everything, and then that her weird cow thing.
Yeah. Oh man, that was an adventure. Um, so I'm terrible at tracking how long it takes me to do things. Um, but I would say that the the gown itself, just the purple, probably took me at least 4 hours. And then the cape was actually pretty straightforward because I just did a standard circular cape, or semicircular cape that I've done on historical costuming as well. And then the collar is actually plastic embroidery canvas that's been covered with fabric and trim.
Plastic embroidery canvas.
Mm-hmm. Nice and
What's
stiff.
what is that usually used for in terms of cosplaying?
Um, Well, I'm not sure what other cosplayers use it for, but for me, it was a thick and light structure that wasn't gonna be affected if it got rained on or something like that. And then I could just use that as a really steady base for all of my decorations.
Nice. What kind of material did you use for her weird cowl face cover thing that she puts her crown over?
That one, I actually bought that one because it was a lot simpler. Um, it was something that I found on Amazon. It is a cowl that is advertised for use underneath a headscarf.
Okay, kind of like I think it's called baklavas or balaclavas.
Uh, Sort of like that, depending on your definition. But
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it unlike those which are designed to, I think, cover like the nose and mouth as an option, this is designed to show the whole face.
okay. Have you ever considered cosplaying more Disney villains? After the Evil Queen.
I've thought about it, but I always get sidetracked by other things that draw my attention more.
Gotcha. I take you enjoyed cosplaying as the Evil Queen from Snow White.
It was fun. That was the first time I got stopped by some kids on the street as I was walking to con, and they took a picture with me, and that was great.
And what con did you do Evil Queen for?
That one was for Komori Con 2018.
Nice. And what is not speaking of Komori Con? What is Komori Con like? Like I said, it's a con I wanted to try to go to, but again, COVID.
Yeah,
uh,
so Komori Con's a good time. Usually I am staff, so I may not have like the full experience. One thing I do know that gets a lot of people is that there's a lot of walking, but I always have a good time.
nice. So what kind of staff work do you usually do for Komori Con?
I volunteer at the ballroom.
Nice. Nice. So, I imagine like a lot goes on for the ballroom. Like, what, what events usually go in the ballroom? Because I've looked online, but I've never fully understood how that
Okay.
all. If you don't mind explaining.
Yeah. So at the ballroom during the day, we've got dance lessons. So we'll teach things like swing and cha cha and tango and that sort of thing. And then in the evening, we'll have events like we've got Komori Prom and Komori Ball. Usually, those are the two big ones.
Now, does it cost to go to the Komori Con and ball, or do you get that as soon as like you purchase your ticket for the con itself?
It's free, but Komori Ball is. I, don't quote me on this. I'm on a podcast. You're going to quote me on this.
I'm not
It's
quoting you on this.
there's an age limit on Komori Ball.
I, I figured like 20. Is it like 18 and up or 21 and up?
I think it's 18, but kids check the website.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of events for cons, like raves, for example. I know those usually 21 and up or 18 and over because some con events actually serve alcohol.
Yeah, we don't serve alcohol or anything at those events. It's just a different atmosphere. So like Komori Prom, that's open to the teens. I mean, even younger children as long as they're accompanied. Um, and it's more of a party atmosphere. And then the Komori Ball, it's a formal event, and it's sort of it's kind of like a fancy night out.
I got you. Kind of like I'm using an example here, like the Yule Ball from Harry Potter.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. What about like roughly 5 more minutes here? Do you happen to have like any con stories you like to share, or cosplay stories, or like horror stories, or funny moments that have happened when you've gone to cons or done your cosplay in general?
Um, Gosh, I have some stories, but I should probably moderate what I say because some of the things I'm not supposed to talk about as a volunteer.
That is
Um,
completely understandable. It's
so I'm thinking of experiences that are good to talk about. Um, Gosh, the photo shoots are usually fun. I have no idea what to do with myself. Um, and I always wind up doing something that I cringe about later. But having so many people who are interested in the same fandom together, like I usually go to the Ruby photo shoots, and I mean, I don't know a lot of Ruby fans, but having them all show up in costume and taking pictures, that's great.
well,
I love
that's
it.
that's good. I know a lot of cons always have that one particular, you know, meetup for different fandoms. At a con I seen a couple years back, they did a My Hero Academia one.
Oh yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't do one of those every year.
Now, like I said, a couple more minutes. Now, are there characters that you've ever thought about cosplaying? In the future, like a character that you think, oh, I may cosplay this person. They look interesting enough.
Yeah. Um there are a lot that I want to cosplay. One of the reasons why I cosplay from Ruby so much is that all of the outfits are so different and
Sorry
it's
about that, folks. So
always
as you
a
were
unique
saying
challenge trying to
about
make
the
them.
cosplaying
Um
characters from Ruby that you may want to cosplay later down the road.
yes, there's a big bad in Ruby named Salem, and I think that cosplaying her would be a huge technical challenge, and I am totally here for it.
Now, what is Salem? What do they look like?
So, Salem is uh, is sort of a witchy sorceress character, and she's got crazy hair. It's got like this bun thing, and then these little sticks of hair that shoot out with little jewels on them, and it would require full face paint because it's just like a bone white skin tone with dark veins all over, and I would need full sclera contacts, ones that would cover the whites of my eyes too, and it would be absolutely exhausting to wear, but it's so cool.
It'd be basically worth it though.
Yes, absolutely worth it.
I've seen cosplayers where they, you know, like despite how much of a pain in the butt it is, like they don't care if they're sweating, exhausted, like they'll go all out. I've seen a lot of cosplayers who will go all out just to, show off that one cosplay.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any friends that have like done major cosplays like this? Like they know it's just, gonna make them sweat, pass out, but they just soldier on anyway.
Um I'm I'm trying to think if I know anyone who's done something like full body paint or that level of involvement with the wig. I do know someone who has a fantastic Poison Ivy cosplay, and I know that she goes through a lot to try and get that all together and looking as fabulous as it does, and it's amazing.
Nice. So we got about 30 more seconds here. I guess, this will be wrapping it up. Again, Solstice Cosplay. I want to thank you again for, being a featured guest for this first episode of Cosplay Con Talk. Hopefully, you can come back and discuss more topics.
Yes, thanks for having me, and Layla.
Again, I'm Wayne the Unknown, joined here by Solstice Cosplays.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, thanks for watching.